Good morning and happy hump day, folks. It's the second hump day of 2025, meaning we are well over a week into the new year. I guess it's a friendly reminder to say that if your year so far has been less than ideal, I would suggest not to fret because it's only been a week. Still got a long way to go. Just make sure you relax and enjoy the ride. Sorry. I literally, as I was talking, something just got in my eye right there. Hold on. So let's get to my low, my high, my act of kindness. Well, my low is pretty simple. It's cold out right now. Thankfully, though, it plays a part in what I was going to talk about today. My high is, I saw Gabriel Iglesias' new stand-up special on Netflix, which, yes, is the subject of today's video, if you couldn't look at the rather unambiguous title of the YouTube video. And my act of kindness was I took out the garbage for my parents when I visited them. As well as help my mom watch my nephews. That's actually another part of my high. I got to see my nephews yesterday. That was a lot of fun. So, for those who don't already know, I do like stand-up comedy. I love watching it. It wasn't until recently I started making videos about any stand-up specials that I've seen. I've done videos about Matt Rife. I've done videos about, even if I didn't do full-on videos about comedians, I still would at least talk about how good, they were. Most recently, Fortune Feimster's Crushing It, John Mulaney's Baby J. Sometimes I will do full-on videos like Matt Rife's Lucid or Dave Chappelle's The Dreamer. And, listen, it's Gabriel Iglesias. It's fluffy. Even if you're not a fan of stand-up comedy, chances are you've at least heard of fluffy. Or you've at least heard the word fluffy being mentioned, and you immediately thought it was Gabriel Iglesias. That's not hyperbole either. In fact, if I were to look up on any search engine, and I were to type in the word fluffy, Gabriel Iglesias would be the first person who'd appear. He legit made the word fluffy his own. And it sounds as if he did it without even trying, but if you watch the stand-up special on Netflix, you would know that that's not remotely true. Speaking of which, fun fact, originally, and I saw this in an interview, the stand-up special was going to be called Hard Rock Fluffy, because it was going to take place at the because it was taking place at the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Miami, which, honestly, considering his previous stand-up special, Stadium Fluffy, which I also did a video on, where he sold out Dodger Stadium, I'm like, how are you going to top this? Don't get me wrong, the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino, it's a nice place. I've never been, but I hear it's a nice place. How is that bigger than Dodger Stadium? Well, it turns out, Gabriel Iglesias is actually the first person to really perform there. He even said so himself. He's like, they could have had the Rolling Stones, they could have had the Eagles, but they trusted a comedian to be their first really, really big show. I think that's incredible. Which, you know what? Funny enough, Gabriel Iglesias has a joke in this special about casinos. Which reminds me, I said it was originally going to be called Hard Rock Fluffy, but Netflix didn't like it. So now it's called The Legend of Fluffy, which, you know what? It's Gabriel Iglesias. In my opinion, the man could do no wrong. He can call a special whatever he wants. I mean, yeah, you gotta obey the rules of Netflix, but again, you can name your special however you want. Plus, he's been doing stand-up comedy for 27 years. He's earned the right to be called a legend, because he is. And I forget what stand-up special. I think it might have been when the Fluffy movie came out. By the way, I've seen all of Gabriel Iglesias' stand-up specials. Also, by the way, I'm going to be using Gabriel Iglesias and Fluffy interchangeably, which sounds hilarious out of context. But anyway, right, I'll have to share. It was during the Fluffy movie. I think someone pointed out, like, when you see Fluffy on stage, like, you're not seeing a comedian. You're seeing, like, your friend, your neighbor, like somebody that you look at and you can't help but, smile. And that's exactly what the man embodies. Fluffy even said in the special, he's there to foremost entertain, not to offend. And that's actually something a lot of comedians make the mistake about. Yeah, don't get me wrong, sometimes comedians say offensive jokes, and that's fine. But you'll notice, like, those types of comedians never really last that long. Gabriel Iglesias has been doing this for 27 years. He's seen a lot of comedians come and go. So the fact that he's still doing what he's doing at age 47, filling out, arenas, stadiums, casinos, which he actually has a joke about how he used to perform at casinos, says a lot about how committed he is to what he does. And he just talked about, what goes on in his life, because his life is what he talks about. They just happen to be funny situations. But there's also a lot of serious stuff too. I mean, he talked about how he walked away from an emergency plane landing. He talked about how when he got home from that plane landing, he found out that his house got broken into, and he lived in a nice neighborhood too. He talked about how he actually how he owns guns, and he talked about the process of getting those guns, and how and why he got them to begin with. I mean, there's some serious stuff he talks about here. But there's also some funny stuff too. Not to mention, one of the biggest lessons I took away from this is, and this really does happen a lot, not just to me, but to a lot of people. Even when you're operating under the best of intentions, you still wind up screwing up. In the case of Fluffy, he really does try to be PC as possible. But even when you try and be nice, you still wind up offending someone. I'm not gonna. Again, I would love to get into these jokes, but I'd be spoiling the special for you all, so I don't want to do that. Let's see. He talked about how in his last stand-up special, how he and his but he says his girl broke up and now he's single, and so he got lots and lots and lots of applications for someone to fill that void, let's say. Listen, again, to talk about this special would be kind of spoiling everything, so if it seems like I'm being aloof about that, I apologize. If you have Netflix, hell, if you're a Gabriel Iglesias fan, watch this special. Because I can tell you right now, when I first heard it was coming out on January 7th, so yesterday. Actually, it came out on like the night of the 6th, but, I didn't realize that until I was about to go to sleep. I was going to watch the special yesterday anyway, so that's fine. I'm not the worse for wear after that. But when it came out on the 7th, I was wondering, why January 7th of all times? It could have just as easily been around Christmas time. Like, that would be Fluffy's Christmas gift to all of us, or holiday gift to all of us, or New Year's gift for all of us. He could have done it on New Year's Eve or New Year's Day. But he chose the 7th. And I think I know why that is. Because it's January 7th. Now it's January 8th right now. It's cold outside. The days are short and the nights are long. The holiday season is long over. And we're all feeling that seasonal depression-related whiplash you get from New Year's Day onwards. Right now, it wouldn't surprise me if I were to ask anyone how they're feeling. They probably, best case scenario, they say, not great, but I'm getting by. Fluffy gave us a gift of laughter for this time of year. And I can tell you right now, after watching that special, I thought this was exactly what I needed. So if you're feeling down in the dumps even a little bit, give this show a watch. Give this special a watch. Also, if you've been watching me long enough and you've seen me do enough of these videos, you know I'm a firm believer in good comedy should make you laugh. Great comedy should make you laugh and think. And depending on, now, think actually has a bit of a broad term. Like, it could be thought-provoking, it could make you think, never thought of it that way before. Or you learn something new, something that basically you leave knowing something new or learning something that, you could apply to your everyday life possibly. And throughout this special, in terms of all the stories that Gabriel was talking about, again, when it comes to, purchasing guns or, trying to accidentally offending someone even when he was trying to be PC, or, walking away from, an emergency landing. Like, throughout the special, I couldn't help but think, that's life. That's literally the lives that we all live. Granted, stuff like, walking away from an emergency plane landing, that's not likely to happen, but it happens. It just comes so out of the blue for a lot of people that we never see it coming. That's why it catches us off guard. But at the end of the day, Fluffy, like everybody else, is human. And honestly, at this time of year, when it's January and cold and depressing, you need some of that humanity to get you through a lot of stuff. I can tell you, from beginning to end, I was smiling from ear to ear. The special opens on like one of those editor jokes, like, let's take it back to the beginning. And then it goes a lot farther back than I would have predicted. I'll say that much. Again, I really wish I could. I can't spoil any of these jokes because, go watch it for yourself, man. It's a lot of fun. There's also a special about how a good friend will help you out. True friends will be truly mean to each other. I love that because, again, that's life. That's just how it is. And I love it. From beginning to end, I was grinning from ear to ear. I had to hold back my laughter sometimes as if I had heard something naughty in church. It was just a lot of fun. And the fact that Fluffy's been able to do it for 27 years. There's a joke he talks about where people are walking up to him saying, hey, I grew up watching you. You know what? I grew up watching Fluffy. I believe I was in my early teens when Hot and Fluffy came out on Comedy Central. That's at least 20 years right there. And the man is still doing what he loves. They say that if you do your job long enough and you love your job, it's as if you never worked a day in your life. Sorry for wiring something on my throat there. You know what? For as hardworking as Fluffy is, and for all the success he has, you can tell right away that every time he's on stage, anytime you see him perform, he's having fun. And not only is he having fun, but the audience watching him is having fun. And that's what he's there to do. He's there to entertain, not offend. So, if you're a fan of stand-up comedy, chances are you've obviously heard of Fluffy. You should give this a watch. If you're a Fluffy fan, absolutely give this a watch. I know Netflix isn't exactly available for a lot of people, so I'm sure there's probably clips on YouTube or something. So yeah, I highly recommend you give this a watch. If you're feeling down in the dumps, this definitely got a good laugh out of me. In fact, I'm probably going to watch it again later at some point. By the way, in case anyone was wondering, yes, there had to be a mention of Martine! I can't do it as good as Gabriel can, but you get the idea. So, Fluffy, Martine, and everyone else involved making this show happen, making everything happen. Thank you to Fluffy. Thank you for doing what you do. You made me and hundreds of millions of people all over the world laugh. And you're still killing it to this day. I am not remotely surprised at all that you've been in the game for 27 years. Because, again, if you love what you do, it's as if you're never working. And pretty much everybody who watches you can tell you love what you do. And that's why we all love Fluffy. That's why we're going to continue to watch him for hopefully another 27 years. Let's see, he's 47. Another 27 would be 74. He could live to be that old, I think. It's possible. Technology and modern medicine's gotten better, so maybe. Whatever. Here's another 27 years of listening to Fluffy. Thank you, Fluffy, for all you've done. I can't wait to see what you do next. And I can tell you all, I had a blast watching this. I hope you like this video. If you don't like, subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow me on social media. As always, I have a very holiday news video for all you guys who watch and enjoy for today. Hopefully you have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Wednesday. And remember, if you guys want to talk or chat, we're here to lend you always right back. Take care and make good choices. 607 all day, baby.